Hi, my name is Carlos, and today I'd like to show you how I made this disappearing text effect in Cinema4D. I hope you like it! The first thing we need to do is create a MoGraph text. So from the MoGraph menu, select MoText, and we get our text. I'm going to change the default word to something I like more, someday, and there we go. I am also going to select a font that is bigger and thicker. I like one called Gadugi, which is over here. So that's the font. And I'm also going to make it a bold type font. So it's getting closer. Now what we need to do is break this object into as many polygons as possible. So we need to do a few things. I'm going to select the caps tab, and in the bevel section, I am going to add the size of 3. So if you notice, when I do that, we get more polygons around the bevel, which is getting us closer. I also want to add more polygons to the face of the text. So from the caps type, I'm going to change this to regular grid, and immediately we get a lot more polygons. So it's getting better. There's still more we can do. Click on Object, and there is a subdivision value that I'm going to change, make it 4. Now we have more subdivisions. And this is almost ready, but there's still one more thing we can do. In intermediate points, I'm going to click on this and select uniform. And when I do that, I get a lot more polygons, which is really what I want. Okay, so the text is ready. Almost. Still needs some material. So I'm going to double click in the material space down here. And now I have a new material. And double click on that. I am going to change the texture to default of nothing to a gradient, which is here. And when I click on the new gradient that appears, I get into the gradient editor. I want the gradient to go from bottom to top, so I am going to change the type from 2D U to 2D V. So click on that and select 2D V. And for the color, I want to change it to something else. To make it easier, I'm going to load a preset. So click on that, Flame 2, and there you go. Only thing left is drag the material on top of our text, and the text itself is ready. Now, I want to start breaking this text into its component polygons, and for that I'm going to select a function in MoGraph called polyfx. So click on that. And by default, this function doesn't know what to do. So I need to do a few more things. So first of all, I am going to create a null. So click on the cube and create a null. Grab my 2 objects and put them into the null. So now, polyfx knows to affect anything that is inside the null. But it still doesn't do anything. We still need to do a few more steps. So, back on the MoGraph menu. Back on the MoGraph menu, I am going to select an effector called plane, which affects MoGraph objects that are in the scene. Although on its own, it still doesn't do anything. I need to tell the polyfx to use the plane to start breaking the object. So from polyfx, I go to the effectors tab, drag the plane in it, and now something is happening. The polygons are starting to move. However, this is still not controllable. Plane and polyfx are by default acting on everything that is under the null, but there is no way to control it. So to get around that, I'm going to do a few more things. I am going to deselect everything and select this button for linear field. You'll see why in a little bit. So I get a linear field that now I'm going to use to control the plane. Right now it doesn't do anything still. So when I select the plane, I go to its falloff, drag the plane, the field I created, and put it in here. And now when I move, not that one, when I select the field, now I have actually a much bigger degree of control than what I had before. So we're getting close. Not quite where we want yet. So go back to the plane, select it, and in the parameters, these values here tell the effector how much to move every polygon in what direction. So right now, the position of each polygon is changing by nothing in X, nothing in Z, and 100 centimeters in Y. That's not what I want. I want it to move equally in all directions. So 30, 30, 30. And I also want the scale to go from nothing to its current value. So disappear and come back to its value. So click on scale, select uniform scale, and change this value to -1, which is going to make the polygons first disappear, and as the field goes by, make them go bigger. Okay, we are getting somewhere again. But I would like to add some randomness to the motion of the polygons. So to do that, I'm going to go back to the MoGraph menu, go to the effectors, and select random. Then I am going to put the random on top of plane in the poly effects. And now when I move the field again, I see that my polygons are moving and there's a lot of randomness, but the randomness is absolute. It doesn't get under control. So I'm going to select random again, go to its follow and use the same linear field that I created before and put it in the random controller. So now when I move the field, not only am I controlling the displacement of the position, but I'm also controlling how much each polygon is moved randomly. So this is getting much, much closer to what we want. Now, it's almost exactly as the video I showed at the beginning, except if you notice, the text here is appearing instead of disappearing, like in my original video. And to change that, it's a simple thing. Select my linear field again, change its direction from x positive to x negative, and now the effect is reversed. So now you see the text starts as being there, and as the field goes by, it disappears. So just to finish this, I am going to do a couple of keyframes. So I'm going to extend the duration of the scene to 140, which is what I did in the video. Go to my linear field again and select a keyframe, the initial frame. Go to the last frame where I want to have my animation completed. Move my field again. Add another keyframe. And there you go. We have the same animation that I showed at the beginning. I hope this is useful. I hope you like it. And if you do, please leave me a tip. The link below tells you how. It's very much appreciated. Thank you.